The Queensland government has reversed its decision to get rid of drumlines across the Great Barrier Reef. The federal government has committed $5 million to trial smart drumlines after recent shark attacks in the region. Last year, the state government was forced to remove 166 lethal drumlines after losing a court case against the Humane Society International. But the state had resisted installing the non-lethal shark measures after the Fisheries Minister, Mark Furner, argued the technology ensured shark life is placed ahead of human safety. Joining me now is the Humane Society International's Lawrence Chlebeck. He joins me here in the studio. Good to see you. First of all, what is the difference between a drumline and a smart drumline?
So a smart drumline is meant to be non-lethal. When an animal is caught on a smart drumline, a GPS transceiver sends a message to a contractor so that animal can be released, or if it's a large shark, tagged and relocated. A traditional drumline, a shark is shot and killed. Okay,
so the problem here is that government thinks that drumlines or sharks are being put ahead of human life. Is that right?
Yeah, they do try to use that rhetoric, but honestly what we're trying to do is move the Queensland Shark Control Program in a more progressive, more effective, non-lethal direction. So things like education, drone surveillance, smart drumlines, these things are much more effective than simply reducing a population of sharks. These are highly migratory animals.
But hasn't the problem been that in the last couple of years, where people used to swim all the time, particularly in North Queensland, are now being attacked by sharks? There's been at least half a dozen attacks in recent times. So you talk about education, smart drumlines, but if that many people are being attacked, isn't it the case that sharks are being put ahead of human life?
I don't think so, because if you look over a course of a longer period, shark attacks really haven't increased all that much. And when you think about how many more people are actually getting in the ocean, there are definite ways to prevent these attacks, things like education. A lot of these attacks happened in...
What do you mean by education? Telling people just not to swim in certain areas?
That's exactly right.
But why should that be the case if these are areas where sharks only in recent years have started to migrate into? I mean, it kills some of those tourism jobs up there.
Yeah, it's because of human behaviour that some of these areas have started to become unsafe for people. Things like fishing and tossing fish scraps overboard in Sid Harbour in the Whitsundays. Locals know that this is an area of high shark activity. There should have been
the case in more recent years, hasn't it, that Sid Harbour has had a lot of shark activity?
Yes, because human behaviour has dictated that that animals have come to this area expecting an easy meal because of the fish scraps and things like that. If you ask a local from the Whitsundays, they knew that this was an area of high shark activity. Simple signs saying do not swim in this area could have saved lives.
Okay, so what are you proposing is the best solution going forward?
Like I said, education in areas where there's good water visibility, drone surveillance. There's personal shark deterrents that have been proven to deter sharks from feeding or from attacking. And yeah, just going back to education, much more effective than reducing a population. When these animals are so migratory, killing a few random animals in the area isn't going to do anything at all.
But you're still on board with smart drumlines?
Yes, smart drumlines are a good research tool when those animals are tagged and relocated. Those trials in New South Wales have found that those animals don't return to the area, and we learn a bit more about shark movements and where they go, and that can all help us understand these animals a little bit better and protect human lives.
Are they expensive?
Yes, they are not cheap, but in the long run, if we're really saying that we're putting public safety first, the state governments will find the money to fund these programs if tourism and public safety is really an importance to them.
I know that it's not always suitable, but traditionally there's shark nets at beaches right up and down the east coast have been things that have been put in place. They're not suitable for all areas, including places like Sid Harbour, are they?
No, they're not. So there's been a lot of trials done, smart drumlines and shark nets side by side. And the shark nets kill so many more things like dolphins, turtles, they catch whales and things like that, things that we don't want dying in our oceans. And the smart drumlines are much more targeted, much better at catching those large sharks, things like whites, tigers, and bull sharks. And when we can tag and relocate those animals, that's a much more useful tool.
Okay, Lawrence, we'll keep an eye on this one. Thanks so much.
Thank you.